All right, today our guest is Kaleem Caire, the president of the Urban League of Greater Madison. Welcome, Kaleem. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir, man. You're doing a great job here in Madison, man. We definitely appreciate you being one of our leaders here, making things happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir. So, man, where you grew up right here in Madison, huh?
Grew up right here in Madison, right on the south side, right off Park Street. Penn Park, which was the heart of the South Side for many years. Some still consider it is. It's just not as lively as it was when we were kids, but grew up right across the street from the basketball courts and loved my experience growing up in South Madison. And then when I'm born and raised, left here at 18, went in the military, and have come and gone a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you being a native of Madison, mm-hmm. How have you seen it grow from when you were a child to today? Now the Urban League president, mm-hmm. and you grew up in Madison. How have things changed here?
A few things. It's definitely a lot more people mm-hmm. here in Madison, here in Dane County. A lot more diversity. When I was in school, I trip out when I walk into West High School now, where my children go. My oldest son graduated last year. We walked in to register them. And I saw so many black students. I saw Latino kids, Asian kids. Uh-huh. I was looking. There's a lot, white students too. But it's a mixture of everybody. When I was in school, you had to, stand on stilts and look down the hallway to find some black kids. So,
okay.
From that standpoint, it's changed a lot. Also things like what you're doing. People are far more active and being more entrepreneurial and trying to do new things. So that's a great thing to see. But also, some of the challenges that we see too. Kids aren't doing as well as they used to in school. Always have had some challenges, but we have a lot more of that now. Mm-hmm. Madison is challenged economically like a lot of other cities are. Jobs aren't as available as they used to be.
Right.
So, in some ways things are good, in other ways, things are more challenging.
Yeah. For the city of Madison, what do you think are the 3 challenging things for our community?
Education, jobs, and I think fun, man. We gotta return fun back to this city,
right.
to the country, period.
Yeah.
But on the side of education, schools all over this country are not preparing kids to be a part of this global universe, this global community that we now live in.
Correct.
We still teach our kids the way we did 40 years ago. Our schools don't use technology like they should to teach.
Okay.
A lot of our children don't have access to that.
Correct.
It's a challenge. We have a huge achievement gap. The achievement gap between white and black students is 50 points. Black students, 48% of them can read.
Right.
85 to 90% of white kids could read. We shouldn't have gaps like that anymore. The graduation issue is a challenge, and then also the number of our kids who don't graduate who end up in corrections is it's crazy.
Yeah.
Employment-wise, Madison has. It's stagnant in terms of business development when it comes to medium and large-sized businesses.
Okay.
So small businesses are taking on more of the responsibility for employment, but the banks aren't lending money like they used to, so people can't grow their payrolls. So we have a lot of people who are looking for work and struggling to find it, whether they have master's degrees, PhDs, or no degree at all. Mm-hmm. And then third, the fun part of it. We've been so politically polarized as a country, from Democrats, Republicans, conservative, liberals,
right.
And it's found our way into our state with what happened with the governor eliminating collective bargaining,
right.
Last year, and just the vitriol and the division that these things have created. I don't think people have had a lot of fun. I think they've lost sight of how to have fun.
Right.
I think we got to bring that back to the city.
Uh-huh. Speaking of fun, in the shop, a lot of people come to the shop to find out where to go to have fun. Is there any place where you can go listen to jazz or somewhere, that's safe that you can go have fun? What is the Urban League looking at doing to help the community, have a little fun?
Mm-hmm. Well, when they built our new facilities before I got here, the Center for Economic Development and Workforce Training, I take both of those things seriously. Mm-hmm. On the workforce training side, we increased our workforce training programs, the number of adults we served in just 2 years from 225 people to 1,200. people.
Okay.
So, we're trying to do as much as we can to help people gain access to employment. But then in the economic development side, we want to help businesses, small businesses access resources and those types of things. But in the interim, people, if they feel good about where they are, they feel good about the community that they live in, they can have fun there.
Right.
We're really focusing on that. So, next year we're looking at bringing some popular musical acts to Madison that,
That's good.
are more inclined to the taste and flavor of people who utilize the Urban League. We have a very diverse group of folks, a lot of African Americans. We want people to feel like they can enjoy their culture, their experience more. And so, we're looking at Jill Scott and different people like that. We have John Legend coming here on December 6th for a forum that we're hosting on education. He asked to put a piano out there so he could do a little music too. So, we're doing things like that to try to spice up Madison a little bit.
And where will that be at?
At Lion Energy Center, December 6th from 12:30 to 2:30 in the afternoon. Then we're going to do some interesting, more surprise things in the afternoon and the evening. And then we have an all-day education summit where we're bringing in award-winning schools from across the country. Here, they'll be here from 8 o'clock in the morning until 2 p.m. On Friday, December 7th, to educate us about how we can eliminate these achievement gaps and help our kids move forward.
That's good. Now, I've heard you guys doing some great things with jobs here in the community. Can you tell everybody about what you guys been doing with the jobs? Absolutely.
So we have, as I said, we increased from serving 225 adults before we moved into our new facility in 2009-10 to now we're serving over 1,200. By the end of this year, probably over 1,300 people that we have served. So we're proud of that. But there's three things that we're doing. We're expanding our training programs. So we just added an information technology program. We're piloting it at the University of Wisconsin with their information technology department. We have a new customer service training that our partners at U.S. Cellular and Spectrum Brands have been involved in helping us create. We sent one of our trainers down to Disney so he could get the certification, and they have the world class of customer service training. It's a huge business and they have a lot of turnover. And so we're trying to provide talented people there. We have a health administrative training program where people can become medical secretaries and learn the Epic software. And we have a lot of those folks that work in these facilities around town. So we're trying to expand those types of trainings. And then we also have an access point for workforce where people can come to the league, look up jobs all over the state of Wisconsin, actually.
That's great.
So we've had over 500 people come through just for that this year. And we'll help them with resumes. We'll help them prepare for interviews. And then we have the featured employer job seminars we started this July. And through that, we feature an employer. So rather than going to a job fair where there's a lot of people, we feature an employer, but the deal that they have is free to them, is that you have to have jobs available. And so we want people to learn about your company. We want them to be able to ask questions. And then we want them to be able to apply that day. And if you want to, you can interview them. We've had some interview, Target Corporation. They've extended offers to over 50 people out of the 80 people they've interviewed. We've had Metcalf's Grocery. We've had University of Wisconsin. I know we have the City of Madison and Dane County that'll be working with us on this soon. So that's what we're doing.
That's good. That's good. Education-wise, I know you had a big initiative going, a year ago with the charter schools here in Madison. I know, things didn't go the way you wanted it. So do you have any, alternate plans? What is your plans to stay on that track to reduce the achievement gap?
So we're doing a few things to address that. The first is we're launching a Scholars Academy here in Madison. As you mentioned, the charter school, the proposal for Madison Preparatory Academy, it was voted against by the school board 5-2. We do plan on bringing that school back maybe next year for a vote because we think it's needed for our young people and we think our school system can learn a lot from it. But to not waste time, we worked with the superintendent after that was voted against to establish the Scholars Academy that'll launch in January. But we're going to elongate the school day for 40 of the most at-risk kids at Senate and Toki middle schools. So they'll have 2 extra hours of instruction in math and language arts. They'll have to suit up on Mondays like athletes do for game day.
Yes, sir.
They'll wear the Urban League Scholars Academy. I know you're a Kappa, so you'll like the red that they'll be wearing.
Yes, sir.
You know, where we'll have parents that have to participate in our destination planning initiative. So that's one way to help these young people turn around, but also to help the school system figure out how to help these kids.
Yeah.
And then we have the ACT prep classes that we started last year.
Okay.
This year we'll have served over 200 young people from across the county through that. It's an inexpensive program, but you get more training than you do in a class that you might pay $500 for. So our goal is to ensure we have the most college-ready community in the nation.
That's
and to
good.
do that, we want to make sure that ACT preparatory classes are accessible to all kids. Unfortunately, only 20% of black kids were taking it. And when you looked at the 378 seniors Madison School District had in 2010, only 76 kids took it and only 7% tested college ready. So you're talking about 5 kids out of 378 that were ready for college, 1%. So we got to increase that. But we have white kids who are taking it. You know, we said every kid that needs the resource should have it.
That's good.
And then the third thing that we're doing, where we operate the largest tutoring program in the state of Wisconsin. The Schools of Hope program at the middle and high school level. And we really focused that. It's been around for 15 years, but we really focused it on ensuring these kids are making grade improvements in their core classes at the high schools and middle schools in Madison, Sun Prairie, Verona, and Middleton.
Okay.
Excuse me, Oregon and Middleton.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good, man. Do you have any, final thoughts or anything you want to, let the community know before we wrap up here?
Yeah, we I think 2 things that I ask people, we got to do it. We really got to move our children forward. We need people. It has to be all hands on deck.
Yes, sir.
We need people to give our kids experiences in their workplaces. We need adults to talk to kids again as we see our kids acting out on buses or in neighborhoods.
That's how it used to be when we was little.
That's right. You need to stop these kids and tell them. Don't yell at them, but say, look, you're a handsome young man, you're a beautiful young lady. That's not how we act. But then if you see them doing something well, congratulate them and acknowledge them too. We need to reward and acknowledge our kids' success more too.
Exactly.
And then the second thing is we got to employ these parents. People talk about poverty being an issue in public education, and it's the reason why so many of our kids are struggling. That's true. 85% of all Latino and 86% of all black kids served in the Madison schools are poor.
Okay.
Families don't make much money. Most of them are working, but they're working poor people. We need to employ these families in living wage jobs where they can take care of their kids so that their children don't go through these challenges they have in school and they stay with them for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So the more we can do to employ these parents, extend job opportunities to them, our community better off.
Yep, I agree with you totally, man. I agree with you. Yep, I would like to, thank you for your leadership, man, here in Madison, throughout the Dane County area. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. You people out there support this young man. He's out there to help all of us. So, once again, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thank you, and thank you for the constant cuts.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make you look good. Yes, sir.
Love it. Thank you.
All right.
All right.